Alright. Soon as my stream loads up, we're good to go. Which it will eventually, probably, so I'm just gonna ignore it and move on. Oh, whoops, I forgot to do one more change to this deck list. Factory. That's what we want. Get in my deck. Anyway, now I gotta reset Cardboard Live, too. God. But anyway, we're live today with some Death and Taxes as I quickly change this deck list. We are in the holiday spirit. We have our snow-covered plains like we did with Bomberman on Monday. It is December, as is tradition. Just making sure Cardboard Live is all updated now. Update stream. Alright. Cardboard Live should be updated with the Mishra's Factory now, and we should be good to go. Couple takeaways from this this past weekend's the GP that happened, and a lot of other assorted events, the challenge, some like the PTQs and stuff that happened. D&T had a pretty good weekend, all said and done. There was like a mirror match in the finals of PTQ or something. It won one of the events like the previous weekend before the GP. Didn't do super great in the GP, but definitely performed a lot better than it did pre-run in 6 for obvious reasons. My big concern is the control decks of the format right now, namely Miracles, the Miracle Shell, and the whatever you want to call it, the blue-black X whatever, blue-black splash everything, 5-color control, 4-color control decks. Both of which are now Oko decks, which makes me a little bit nervous. Not specifically the Oko, but have some reservations, some concerns about both of those decks. I honestly don't know what I'm more scared of between the two decks, because Terminus and Mystic Sanctuary and being an Oko deck and stuff is all pretty scary, but also just like generally D&T's track record against blue-black control, blue-black X, whatever nonsense, has been worse. They just have more good cards against you. But both those those decks are both on my radar, hence the triple up on Cataclysm. I think this is easily the best card you can be casting in those matchups. It's not close. Your other 4 drops are not nearly as good. Other thing is, does me queuing with you in Shadow as your queuing count is donating? Depends on if we win, I guess. But one thing I wanted to mention specifically, I hate Gideon. Gideon sucks. Don't play Gideon. Play more Cataclysms. B, some people want to play second Palace Jailer sometimes. I think Palace Jailer is maybe at its worst since that it has been at for a long time. Namely because Oko exists. Oko gives your opponent the ability to haste in elk things. If they just have Astrolabe lying around, they can just play the Oko, Astrolabe, doesn't have Summoning Sickness, and just hit you. And it's a 3/3, so if the Jailer blocks it, then you just lose your Jailer for no value, and then you're really pressured to try to keep the Monarchy against the Oko and stuff. If Snowlands are what passes for all this year, then some people in the community is starting way too soon. No, those people are. That's specifically not what you're supposed to do. You can only play the holiday cheerlands in December. If you play them outside of that, then that's just not reasonable. I think Jailer is still a fine one of, but some people sometimes want to play the second, especially when you're in super grindy matchups. Oh, you're in the middle of making a meme. I gotcha. Yeah, Coatl. I mean, your opponent I guess it flies over your Jailer, where a Snapcaster Mage ran into Jailer. But generally, if your opponent was flashing a creature on end step when you played your Palace Jailer, you're pretty fucked. Now, there are slightly more flash creatures that can take your Monarchy. There are just a lot of reasons to not be playing Palace Jailer. I think it still is probably fine as a one of, just because it is a handy tutor bullet. Can be pretty clutch at times, not even just in those specific control matchups, but in matchups where you just want the removal spell, or in other matchups where Jailer's still nuts, against Loam or whatever. Probably still has a spot in the 60, just as the one of, but don't play more. So I've said my piece on things that aren't Cataclysms. So play Cataclysms if you want to win these slow grinding matchups. The card is like by far and away the best thing you can be doing. It really is not close. Other than that, I don't know what there's a Mirror Crusader in here that feels like it probably shouldn't be a Mirror Crusader. I'm not even that keen on just playing a pile of these in general. They really suck shit against Miracles for obvious reason. They're just like a plow deck. It's okay because it doesn't get like elked and it can attack through opponents' elks and stuff. But if the blue-black, whatever, infinite color piles are playing Swords to Plowshares, as we kind of saw in the GP, we saw mostly the it was base blue-black, base blue-black or base bug, and it splash white for like Teferi and Plow, and then it splash red in the sideboard for Rebs or whatever. But if these decks have access to a bunch of Plows, Mirror Crusader falls off the wagon a lot harder in those matchups. Kind of the same reason that Mirror Crusader was worse against Grixis when they were playing a bunch of bolts, but then it got better because people were playing their bolts because there are too many Tarmogoyfs, etc., etc., etc. I think D&T is like in a really good spot right now. D&T, like I was talking about at the very beginning of the stream, D&T has been performing very well. I don't know how these control matchups hit it, how hard these control matchups hit it. I'm scared of them, but I'm just innately scared of the control matchups because they're probably one of like some of the hardest matchups to pilot. But I think D&T's fine still. I think those are the only real talking points about this list. So yeah, like I said, I'm less high Mirror Crusader, but I don't really know what I want to be playing instead. So we're just playing Mirror Crusaders, seeing how they feel, see what else I could want. We have no sideboard for D&T. We have no sideboard for the mirror. Yeah, you just dodge the mirror. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's exactly enough because you can cut all your Thalias and your 1 Sanctum Prelate. So like 5 is pretty much the bare minimum of sideboard cards you need for the mirror match. We've checked off that box. I guess Mishra's Factory is kind of talking about. Oh, the control decks have no sideboard for you. So yeah, that's maybe cause to not be concerned about it. I mean, the black decks have Plague Engineer, but the fact that the fact that Legacy right now is in this huge like blue arms race with a bunch of people like main decking Veil of Summers and like splashing red just for Rebs and stuff means that I really like I much more like the positioning of these decks that don't care about stuff like Veil and Red. Throwing Ballista. I don't like I actually cut the Ballista for the third Crusader. I'm not into Ballista. I don't think it really does what I want in these matchups. But the Factory, I think it might. I've never really been keen on playing Mishra's Factory, but I think it might have decent play patterns against some of the Planeswalker decks. It helps you like clear a Teferi if it minuses and prevents it from like just keep plussing and then threatening you as you try to like get back on board. If you have a single creature and your opponent plays a turn 3 Oko, they can't just elk it if you have a Factory in play, because the Oko will go to 5 and then you'll have an elk plus a Factory to clear it. I think there just are enough things that come up that you might want this Factory, but I don't know. I've never been impressed with the card in a long time. We'll see. Let's just jam some games. Oh yeah, the format playoffs this weekend. Also, fair warning, my dog is in the room today. If you didn't hear her loudly munching on that rawhide. So if she gets rowdy, I don't have a plan. Probably can cut his 3 Cataclysms from the board. You know, that's a good idea. I don't know why I didn't think of that. Oh, hey. I don't know if Patrick was intentionally trying to cue into me or just accidentally did it. You mean dog or dog? I mean my literal physical dog, not my cat named Dog. The cats are locked out because the dog's in here. Yeah, that sounds fine. Even if we didn't know we were playing against like Miracles. Sounds a keep. Well, this is good practice. I'm really happy that we get to play these matchups, because these are the matchups that I want to play the most. The Bant Miracles and 4, 5, 7 million color control. Am I casting this Stoneforge Mystic? Probably. Didn't counter my Aether Vial, which he definitely would have. Oh, never mind. We're playing this all, yeah. Source Splashers. Not Source Splashers. Interesting. So he doesn't know the top card of his deck, but I don't think there's a reason to really play into it. Just like Crusader, Violent Stoneforge. Maybe there's a reason. Maybe. If we draw a land, that's a really good reason, because we get Crusader, end step Violent Stoneforge, draw 4th land, put in like Sword of Fire and Ice, and just smush. We also have the option of not overcommitting. We could just cast the second Aether Vial. I think putting the sword on like the Thalia next turn is probably good enough. Maybe my plan should just be smush. We can't get Terminus this turn, so yeah, let's smush. This could be Coatl, I guess. This is probably Coatl. That's what this is, right? Which, yeah, doesn't really change my Crusader play. We're trying to figure out what Fetch Go meant, but it's probably Icefang Coatl. Not quite used to all these new fancy lists. Hope this Blue Arms race doesn't last too long. Veil is miserable to play around. It's as much as I think that Veil is horrible card design, I am enjoying people playing a bunch of main deck Veils in the format that all I play is mono white decks. Yeah, there's the Coatl. Not sure if Patrick talking about his choice in snow-covered lands here. You guys can't see chat though. So Potentia. Alright, so what am I doing here? I'm grabbing Sword of Fire and Ice and just trying to rip a land. I have to imagine there's a Sword Splashers coming. In which case, let's tick up. Oh, Thalia. Okay, so now we can't equip now because we didn't actually draw the 4th land. We would, if we had the second Thalia, obviously we equip to the Thalia to make it dying more. Yeah, mirror matches tend to be more miserable the more there are just like really stupid cards on both sides of the table. Just like, hey, whoever draws like more of this like busted card that's obnoxious to deal with is probably going to win. So we're probably just gonna slowly put in this Sword of Fire and Ice stack for 6 here. This feels like we're getting Terminus or something. Yeah, this is like 9,000,000% Brainstorm Terminus. Can we waste on this Flooded Strand? Do we waste on this Flood Strand? We do, right? Like we 100% do? Because then you'd have to shovel away to get to the white source. I mean, we waste that after this Brainstorm resolves, but yeah. Pretty sure we're 100% wastelanding this Flooded Strand. What's up, Static? I mean, we still have 2 mana and a Vial and 3, so like we can still do things with the Sword of Fire and Ice too. don't know if lethal if he has a plow. I'm trying to think about ways to find lethal here. Oh wow, is he just dead? You're just dead, right? I was about to say, yeah. It's not because when you're dying. Like, if you're Snap Pondering or Snap Brainstorming, you're just losing this game because I'm just going to Super Crusader and Smush. We did it. Picked up bad cards from a bad Pioneer deck. Alright. So these definitely in. And then we get to think about Graveyard Hate versus... I think nowadays I'm supposed to cut all the plows. They're on like 0 to 1 mentors nowadays, so I think plow's back to just being garbage. Think so. No AK or Intuition, it just snaps and maybe Sanctuary. But Sanctuary is like really backbreaking is the issue. Like the fact that we got to like clear the gap over the first Terminus is obviously like how we got that game. But like the fact that you can get Terminus and then they have every fetch line turns into more Terminuses is just like really hard to recover from. Don't know if it means that we're supposed to bring in Graveyard Hate, especially if they're cutting the AKs. Like it does only hit Snap and Sanctuary. What else am I cutting? Just some Moms, probably. Especially in the face of infinite Terminuses, I just like don't really want Moms in my deck. Maybe Surgical is actually worth it. Just like cut all the Moms, bring in 2 Surgicals. Surgical's hard to maneuver around fetch lands to tag Sanctuaries. Yeah, I think Surgical's probably better than Rip with no AKs. I think let's try it. I don't think these Moms are doing a lot. Greekachu, thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. I don't know why I didn't hear that notification, but I did see it. So thank you. Gotten treated twice against Miracles. It's a miracle that I won. I've certainly been there. We'll keep this. It's got a Vial. And lands in case our Vial gets Force of Willed. Yeah, I think Surgical might be just correct to bring in against like this iteration of Miracles. Yeah, I stream a lot of Death and Taxes, Greekachu. Also stream Bomberman, but that's been a newer pickup. Because it's been like 2-3 months by now that I've been playing Bomberman, but D&T has been my my passion for a long time. Ooh, a Tundra. We can Wasteland a Tundra. Probably just porting though, not wastelanding, right? Unless we draw like a second Aether Vial. Yeah, the one thing I do enjoy is that like the Mystic Sanctuary lists kind of have more wasteland targets than in the past, even though they're like an Astrolabe deck. Did not know that's how that interaction works. Oh yeah, snow mana is any mana produced by a snow permanent. whatever can be paid with 1 mana from a snow permanent, not just snow lands. And Astral is in fact a snow artifact. It's fun. So I think we're just porting the Tundra and saying go. Next turn we can Wasteland port Anthalia, which seems pretty bananas. Fun. It's a neat interaction. It's definitely on the lesser scale of the atrocities of Arkham's Astrolabe. Maybe we're supposed to port this. Never mind. I was supposed to say maybe we're supposed to port the Snowguard Island to stop more Astrolabes, but then I realized the literal thing we were just talking about. That was mean. Herbal Grout and Dark Depths has for Snow Black. That I didn't know. I don't know if that ever comes up. Get punished for not wasting. Yeah, that's true. Did get punished for not wastelanding there. Didn't think about that. Now we're just going to Thalia waste. Our hand is gloated with 3s, which makes it like less keen on wastelanding. Opponent still has 5 cards in hand. Maybe I'm not supposed to wasteland. Although casting our spells doesn't really look like a strong proposition here. Yeah, I think we just need to wasteland and clench. We're not winning by like casting these recruit other guards. Yeah. Did not think about just getting disenchanted, but I definitely should have. Even like pre-return to nature, they were just playing straight up disenchant, and like my next turn was so good that I probably could have. Like, there's no real reason to wasteland or to port instead of wastelanding there, other than the ability to like not have to wasteland next turn if I don't need to. But I think we're pretty locked in on the ability to file Anthalia and port. That wastelanding there is just like super free. It was a good like play to land and disenchanted my thing anyway, and then we'd be back to ground zero, I guess. Dang, never lucky. Oh. I think casting spells is better than using Rashad and Port at this point. When I put it as just Brainstorm, it has a fetch in play. Also lets me get my stuff in play. We're on 2 equipment in this game. Kind of sucks. Let's grab our Batter Skull, I guess. Literally the only one we can. Please no Terminus. Yeah, it's obviously more mana efficient for us if we do Wasteland there, because then they have to use both their mana that turn rather than being able to use 2 mana in their upkeep and then play a land and then use that mana for other things. Oh, which I don't think they did. I think they just played a fetch and passed. But yeah, definitely worth wastelanding there. And just you definitely get into some like muscle memory with any deck really. Just like, oh, if you have the ability to port or wasteland on a given turn, you can only do one. It's usually better to port, right? Yeah, it's not important what they did. It's important what they could have done. What is this in here? Make a 3/3. Probably much better than Elking my things, right? Although I'm stuck on 2 lands. Like Elking Mystics, like kind of tempting. Get 4 cards in though. Like they can probably beat my whatever garbage. Am I supposed to wasteland again? Wastelanding them again puts them down to only 2 colors of mana because they elked their Astrolabe. I think Wasteland plus like put in equipment's fine here instead of like Batter Skull. A little bit dangerous in the face of this Oko, but we need things that can attack through an Elk anyway. If he just like makes the second Elk, at least he's down mana, and then we can try to figure out some ungodly way to win. there, Lily? You can hear her munching on her rawhide. Sure, she's got the whole thing in her mouth. She stops chewing as soon as I turn and look at her. Like she's not supposed to be chewing it or something. Yeah, she got it out of her mouth. One time I did find a piece of rawhide, like, when she was trying to eat it, it was like glued to the top of her, to the roof of her mouth, and she couldn't get it. Dogs are not smart. Create a food token deal. This doesn't steal my artifacts, right? Yes, it only steals my creatures. Let's make Batter Skull, I think, is my best bet. Drawing more lands is nice. So we could technically Flicker Wisp the Astrolabe and clear the Oko, but my opponent has 4 cards in and pass with 4 mana open, which makes that plan really bad. I want to get more equipment in play, but I also want to try to be mana efficient. Although we probably don't want to play more to the board, but our equipment are also just really bad in the face of this Oko. I don't know, this is a lot of tough decisions. I think Flickering the Astrolabe is heinously bad for us. They have just like Source Plowshares. We hit the Oko down to 4, and then they get to draw another card, and then we're like super far behind. We're just gonna attack Oko with our Batter Skull. Could be like, it can't be Snap Return to Nature, like 4 mana. I think we are just passing here. None of our equipment lets us attack through this Elk, though, assuming they just, like, Elk my Batter Skull. So we could just, like, GT up the Thalia. Alright, let's just pass. Just snap Brainstorm. Sure. This could mean Terminus, which is really bad for me. Probably means Terminus, which is really bad for me. We can't port away the Terminus. We can't port them off of Terminus because we can't port this Astrolabe. I think we're putting in an equipment here in response. Putting in the sort of Fire and Ice. No Terminus. Alright. That's better for me. Council's Judgment? That's obnoxious. I'm going to have to let this resolve, I think. I don't think they vote for Stoneforge Mystic. Maybe they do. Maybe I just put in sort of Fire and Ice. If they vote for that, we could draw a land and potentially get Jite online, which I don't know, this Oko hasn't activated yet, so we don't want to put anything in. They could just like vote for an equipment, Elk the other equipment, and then we're shit out of luck. We want to put the equipment on an end step. If this votes for Stoneforge Mystic and then they Elk the Batter Skull, what's our plan? I guess draw land for... Wait, no, then we get absolutely fucked, right? If they just vote for Stoneforge and Elk the Batter Skull. Because then we can't cast the Jite. Maybe it's put in Umezawa's Jite here. GTA might be better than Sword of Fire and Ice on this board. GTA helps us attack into this elk better. Did you really get paired first patch right? Yep. Round 1. I don't know if it was an intentional on his part or not, because we were just talking about the matchup. I feel like if he was in, like, watching, he would, if he wanted to knock you into me, he would have. Alright, it is voting for the batter skull, sure. We have the ability to Caracas our GTA if they want to elk it here. I don't know if I would, but we could. Sure, make the food an elk. Nice surgical extraction. Gonna be super useful here. I mean, a mother of birds would also not be very useful. If we equip a Thalia attack, they could double block. We first strike, kill 1, and then die. We get 1 counter on the Jite. Seems like a really inefficient use of mana. We could Flicker Wisp a food token. Set up to try to aerially combat the Oko. That might be the best. But only has 3 cards in hand. Take Force Oil. Might. Would you force this? Maybe a little bit dangerous. Yeah, we're gonna kill this food token and then pass the turn. I guess I shouldn't have 6. I have a surgical extraction in my hand. But if we were casting surgical into fetch lands, because Mystic Sanctuary is a card that exists. At some point, the surgical might be able to like counter a snap. I mean, I guess I can't have 6 because I'm tapped out with a Thalia in play versus with a surgical extraction. Makes it a lot harder to cast. This is like plow, snap, plow. In which case we could surgical the snap, but you're not surgical snap, surgical the plow when it's getting snapped. No, we can't cast surgical extraction. Almost return to nature. Get wrecked. Get wrecked, us. Jace. Jace is a real bummer. That's a real bummer. We had to kill the Jace, though. Oh, no, we can elk my Wisp. Never mind. Can we find a way to do something here? Not really. I mean, we could put the GTA on the Thalia now. Because if we have an elk, we get to at least win this combat step pretty well. Probably GTA Thalia attack with Thalia and Wisp. They don't really have good blocks. Jace, attack. Also Jace, maybe? Don't really want to attack the Oko, do I? They'd like trade me for stuff, but that would involve killing the Oko. Don't want to attack the Oko here. I'm not positive. Looks okay, we get to just eat the Astro Elk. Yeah, double up did not work either. Kaga's the best deck. We're in round 1 here, we're up a game. This game looking a lot tougher. Yeah, your blocks don't work out well, I believe. Alright. So yeah, this is probably the best because if his intent is to return to nature my GT the following turn, because we don't get any value off of the GT. Because we can't clear the Elk. So that block is probably the best. Maybe that's a reason to send it at Jace. That was probably the best block for them, is to leave the Thalia unblocked, and is hitting the Oko rather than hitting the Jace there. I'm not sure. Oko at 3 or Jace at 1. Jace at 1 might be better, because you're really incentivized to just 0 Jace every turn, so Jace at 1 makes it a lot easier to clear with just like anything in play. Jace at 3 is a lot tougher, especially in the face of this Astrolabe. This... that's not very nice. Yeah, might be pretty fucking dead now. Really good engineered explosives. So our plan is to draw Cataclysm. Surgical looks mighty impressive. We board in 2 Surgicals over 2 Mother of Runes. And I think Mother of Runes would also be very bad on this board. In fairness. Someone has a Thalia and a Chalice someone else. Can you still cast E for 0 without Wasteland and Delver deck? Oh, without Wasteland? No. Problem is that now we just get bodied by this Jace the Mind Sculptor for the rest of time. We could also just like, the Oko would at least die there. Yeah, we'll play the Crusader. Must have to attack Elk into Elk, probably not. Boarding and Surgical was a test against the Mystic Sanctuary decks. Definitely not sold on it or anything, but sample size of 1. Not very useful. I don't think we're attacking. I want to keep something on the board state. We don't really have a way to like clear an Elk very usefully though. Am I supposed to surgical this? Probably. I don't want to get Council's Judgment again. ones for sure. Force return to nature. All right, Cataclysm plan not looking very good. We got things spicy in here. A single Ice Fang Quaddle, a Containment Priest. Wait. Am I missing something, or does his deck not contain the card Swords to Plowshare? Oh no, there it is. I was about to. I'm totally blind. I was like, are there no plows in this deck? They blended in with the snow covereds. I am blind. Don't mind me. America's list the Sword Splash Terminus blend together that it used to be. Yeah, I think Surgical is definitely more a response to Sanctuary than a plan to like rip the Terminus or Termini or plows out of their deck. At this point, because Sanctuary is a real beating. Yeah. Figured that this was just going to get unsummons from the Jace. Yeah, we're pretty dead. Opponent has multiple ways to counter Cataclysm. We could draw 3 Cataclysms in a row and also a 4th land to cast them. Alright, now we can have 6. Yeah, we're pretty toast here. Although now we can just like steal my Crusader. I guess he's just countering it, sure. Can we just concede to move on to the game 3? We could, yeah. Now he only has 1 force though. I guess this Jace starts plussing at some point. Are we just going on the beatdown plan? It's like not unreasonable. Maybe that's a reason to have attacked that turn. But I cast the Crusader. I guess after the Crusader doesn't resolve, maybe? Dunno. Can't steal because it's pro-green. Yeah, that's accurate. Ooh, deal. Alright. Man. Please don't counter this. I want to do cool things. Nice. Gimme. Real talk, am I supposed to flicker out the Jace or the Oko? If I flicker out I guess it's gotta be the Jace, right? The Oko could elk one of my Wisps. But the Jace just, like, draws a million cards. It's gotta be the Jace. At least if, like, one Wisp gets elked, the other could potentially clear it. It's gotta be the Jace. No, we're just getting Terminus. Alright, that's cool. Oh, we tried. We have to do a cool thing. Land Cata. He has a force of whatever. Force of negation in hand. We need land Cata. And we still might be like dead to elk tokens by then. Jace is back on 3. We have a Wisp that can clear this food token, I guess. I think that's better than playing Crusader. Crusader gets unsummoned. At least this can get dealt with, but it killed his 3/3. Yeah. Plow, sure. Probably getting around time to get oh, land cat. I just didn't see the second Cataclysm. Isn't it like our actual thing where your brain just like omits the second word when the words are repeated? Jace is probably just getting in. Oh, well, that does something. It does kind of something. I mean, it might draw this force of negation at least. Yeah. Now we're set up to just need to draw land and Cataclysm before he finds a second force. Don't worry about it. What is this even snapping? A Ponder? Sure. I think he just wants to get pressure and play and kill me before I can find Cataclysms. How long has Recruiter's been in hand? Since like turn 3. We just like have not been on the casting spells train. Got the land part. What's the best way to go about this? I guess playing Recruiter, thinning my deck. We could like double spell, but Selfridge is just a squire. Grab more Flicker Wisps. Flicker Wisps kill 3/3s. Patrick wants me to scoop. In fairness, when the first time I was told to scoop, the game was like slightly more competitive than it could have been with the like Flicker Wisp line into like the Council Judgment and stuff. Obviously, like we were still pretty dead, but like Caviar's still very good. I imagine there's a Force of Will in his 6-card hand. At least a Force of Will somewhere in the 18 cards left in his library and the 8 cards currently in his hand. There very well may be a Force of Will. One of the 3 that are left. He's just taking my Thalia for the power play. He definitely is. Because we have like reach Crocs or whatever. No, I'm gonna flicker it. I want it back. Gimme. I don't even want to play my Stoneforge Mystic. Now we're just memeing. We were dead a long time ago. Is it still lethal? I'm bored of memeing. Life is too short to play Oko games. Yeah. That Oko was in play since like what? Turn 3, turn 4? I think Mother Ring probably still sucks. What are you doing down there, kid? Can you calm down? Yeah, all those cards still suck. Let's just resubmit. I'm glad Force of Negation exists, so I don't have to argue with Patrick about him leaving in Spell Pierce versus Death and Taxes. Now that there's like a more defensible card to leave in. At least you can Force of Negation a turn 1 Vial when you're on the draw. This is a little bit too many lands, but the rest of these cards are pretty good. I think I'm keeping this. This hand has some very good Magic cards in it. Sorry about the thumping. Lily has a very heavy tire toy that she likes to pick up, and then it's a little bit too heavy, so she puts it down. Ooh, that was a good draw. I dig that. I think we're just casting this Thalia. I don't think we're casting the Prelate, though. Guess it might depend on how this turn goes. Let's just like plow my Thalia. Yep. Hey, excuse me, Lily. Draw a 2-drop. That's pretty good. I'll take that, honestly. This kind of makes me want to play the Sanctum Prelate. They didn't cast a cantrip. He didn't cast a cantrip on turn 1. Yeah, I'm kind of in the market for the Sanctum Prelate. We do have lands to cast Cataclysm this time. We just need to draw it. Man, this... So, I guess this is kind of one of the situations. We have this Vial, which makes it a lot riskier, but this is one of the situations where it's like, we can't just, like, get Oko Elk the Prelate. I mean, obviously the Vial is really good at threatening to kill the Oko anyway, but, like, if they did that, then we could just have 5 power with the Factory. This is one of the reasons, like, I was kind of into this Factory idea. Let's take this Vial up, draw. Don't want to attack with Prelate into Snapcaster mana. Don't really want to attack with I guess attack with Factory into Snapcaster mana is okay. No Force Mage Jailer time, or do we want to flicker? I don't like Jailer, like I was talking about. Jailer's a little bit better here. But I think I just want Flicker Wisp value. You could, if we just like cast a Jailer and get Ice-Fang Quaddle, that's just so horrendously bad for us. But am I just like saying go, or am I casting a Recruiter Guard? How greedy am I with like casting my spells and keeping my Vial out? I need to like play fast. We're both pretty down on clock here. I think we're just sitting on our hands here. God, we could get Containment Priest. Did he had the one Containment Priest in his deck? I'm gonna cast it. Kind of been forgetting, kind of into getting Factory damage in. I'm not super keen on it. I'd be okay with it trading for a Snapcaster Mage, but especially because I decided to cast a Recruiter. Ooh, this is why we don't play the Wasteland out. I want to incentivize this stuff. So, is there a punishment for flickering this Recruiter right now? They can't cast Plows, and this deck is pretty light on other types of removal spells, especially at instant speed. I don't think there's a big punish for just flickering this Recruiter right now. We are in their main phase still, and that's the point where we would want to flicker it. So, hey, can you not make a bunch of noise, please? So we could get punished by, like, them casting a spell. Like, but, like, I don't think there's that much that really punishes me. I'm gonna do it. I guess Containment Priest is the biggest punish, because they could, like, Containment Priest kill my thing forever. Oh, wow. Kind of surprised they want to stop my Flicker Wisp rather than eating my Recruiter Guard forever. Cards from 2019 that you wish were good in Legacy. I wish there were cards in 2019 that were less good in Legacy. Oh god, just got a squeaky toy. Why did I bring that one in? I'm sorry, chat. H. Good read, not attack. I mean, like, Snapcaster Mage is, like, probably the more likely thing there, and it is, like, infinitely worse to attack into. I kind of want this Containment Priest off the battlefield so I can get Flicker Wisp value. Like, I might just fire a Factory attack with Prelate and Factory. Maybe that's, like, too much. I think we're definitely wastelanding this Tundra. I think we definitely need to play faster. Please stop squeaking your toy. I don't know why I brought in your squeaky toy. That was a horrible mistake. I regret my life decisions. But also you squeaking that toy is better than you getting really antsy and starting to whine. Nice. Tap land. Maybe we'll just cast this Flicker Wisp and get in damage. It's very hard for us to get this Containment Priest off the board. And just have to imagine this Prelate is just, like, carrying me super hard, so I really don't want to attack with it. Shot ports, so I keep not wanting to actually cast this Flicker Wisp. Again, apologies. But I have 3 minutes on my clock, so I don't want to deal with my dog squeaking that to it. Oh, fuck, Snapcaster Mage. Rude. Please stop squeaking it though, Lily. I'm just gonna mute myself for a second. Was the squeaking not that bad? I have no idea how it sounded on the other side. It was just pretty annoying to me, so I figured it was annoying to chat. But if it's not horrendous, also she stopped temporarily at least, so. I wanted to cast the Wisp there because I think we just need a clock. Especially because our clock is running low. But I think this Sanctum Prelate is desperately holding my House of Cards together. Nice. I don't think I want to cast a second Flicker Wisp. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I do want to cast a second Flicker Wisp. We could... No, we can't really lethal. I play land, cast second Wisp. Flicker doesn't matter. We didn't have to play land because we could flicker our own land. Maybe it was correct to play. Put them to 3. Just dodge Terminus off the top. I think we want to try to set up the lethal here. Because we could have flickered the Containment Breach that turn to like deal 1 extra damage. Please stop. Please stop. Lily. Don't flicker my own creatures. Pray to God we don't get Terminus. Can't stop because this veg is in play still. Alright, dodged. I wanted him to concede and show me his 8-card hand of all 1-drop spells. Probably should have cast his Flicker Wisp last turn. Almost assuredly should have. Not last or whatever. The turn that I decided not to. Come on. Show me your hand of all 1-cost spells. I think I would have ported the Strand. Does porting the Strand do anything? I thought about it, but I don't think it doesn't stop the Terminus. Maybe end of turn port the Strand. I guess that stops. Does that stop something? Your opponent's end of turn. Stop Strix into turn. Oh yeah, things that prevent from having lethal. can't quite go up to 3 and win there. It only stops if they also have land. Stops Strix prevent lethal into Terminus, maybe? I don't know. I was kind of scared of a Supreme Verdict. Cutting them off with 4 mana stops potential Supreme Verdict. I guess that's not true, because they'd need double white anyway, so they'd need to play a land drop, and then they'd have double white regardless. EE and needed Strain for a 3rd color if I ever drew a land. Yeah, but you could have just... Like, that turn specifically, if we port the Strain, you just fetch up planes, right? Hey, the EE got us good game 2, at least. I don't know. Alright, please lay down, Lily. Just go to sleep. There's nothing for you to do. Just hang out, just sleep. So that's 1 planes. Oh, wow. Ambitious. If that list had 1 planes, I would have been a little bit more keen on it, because it forces, like, the Tundra fetch in that case. And then we could possibly find a Wasteland. That sounds bad. That sounds much better. Put back the 2nd vial? The G-Day might be worse than the 2nd vial. Maybe not, though. Probably not. Put on keep 7. Yeah, I'll put back the 2nd vial. Ding. Maybe it was Wasteland I kind of wanted 2 vials. Just like Wasteland all my opponent's stuff. Taiga, alright. Oh dear. Well, this is not what I would consider good. I feel like Wastelanding this Taiga feels extremely ambitious. I think we're better served playing this Umezawa's Jite. If they, like, play Land Loam or something, we can at least, like, Vial in the Mom and equip it, suit it up, and then give it protection from getting Vortex to death. Yeah. Now we can potentially try to find a window that we can Crusader Jite. This is just fetch Loam again. Oh geez, Exploration, sure. Exploration into Loam. That's such a backbreaker. They're tapped out though, right? Oh no, they're gonna have 1 up, which means we can't get our Crusader really online because it's a fetch land too. And they're probably like never tapping out. Oh, that's not bad. I guess we could put in the Crusader and then move the equipment over while holding up the Mom. Have a Crusader holding a Jite. That's 6. They're getting to the point where they might actually be able to like double hit it down though. I think I just want to cast Stoneforge here. Get 4 counters on the Jite. Stoneforge just eats it, whatever. I think I just want to stockpile a bunch of counters on the Umezawa's Jite to protect me from ever getting Molten Vortexed. Also, we can go get Sword of Fire and Ice, which is pretty cool. Just gonna Vortex down my Stoneforge. Got it. Dead. We just need to kill them before they find a Mazavith. They found Mazavith. Cool beans. We need them to somehow tap out all of their red mana so we can get this Crusader online, right? There's like no way. We need to find a spot now. Sofa and Mom. Yeah, is that lethal? 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Not quite. We have one shot at attacking through a Mazavith on, like, for one turn unless they find a Wasteland, because we can Wasteland the Maze. Hey, Lily, can you stop, please? I'm wondering if I should take this Valve to 4 to get Palace Jailer going. Kind of into it. Palace Jailer is a good Magic card. Gonna cast Sword, play Palace Jailer. Dicks. Really would have loved to have this Flicker Wisp. We could Flicker Wisp the Mazavith, attack for 1, put them to 14, and then we have 6 counters, and that's only 13. Wow, dicks. Alright, I'm gonna cast the Sword of Fire and Ice. Jailer right now, so I can actually draw a card. Did you get it? Yeah, we got game 3 against Patrick. Monarchy. Yeah, we can make him discard 2 lands to kill my Jailer. Hey, Recruiter. That finds us... Wait, that doesn't find us anything useful. Oh yeah, they can start trying to chip away at the GTA counters, can't they? I don't know if they can clear them all. I don't think so. Could make a Merit Wage, but that doesn't do a lot. So we have Flicker Wisp. I think at least 3 more throws. They don't have P-Fire, so I guess we're supposed to do a Recruiter for a Revoker and try to revoke this Vortex. We can have 6 at least. Oh, they do have P-Fire. Well, this is bad. Oh, they have Field of the Dead too? Oh, this is all bad. Because now we can't get through zombies. Profiles on 4 too, man. If Profiles on 3, we might actually be able to do something. Obviously, we can't know that though. Well, this all sucks. How many lands you got? 6 lands with different names. So there's gonna be a billion zombies. We can protect the Palace Jailer from dying to Vortex. There's a P-Fire and a Vortex, so we can't just Recruiter for an answer to something. We would need to have Crusader here and be able to put the sword on the Crusader, because that attacks through Field of the Dead tokens and Molten Vortex. There's like no way to do that, though. We're pretty dead here. We can protect this Jailer, which gets walled off forever, so there's no real reason to protect the Jailer. We can play Wisp on nothing of importance. Like, And then our Wisp dies, though. We can play Recruiter for Sanctum Prelate, and then they somehow convince them to tap out of red mana. We can put the Prelate down and still not even equip. Wow, yeah, we're so bad. I think we actually like have a very good shot at winning this game if we had a Vial on 3 here. Just trying to see a world that we actually win this game. They have no cards in hand. They're drawing this loam for turn, so they're gonna play land to get 2 zombies, right? You can even like stage their field if they wanted more than 2 zombies. Crusader's gonna bite it to anything, so I think we just have to. We could, I guess, sort of Fire and Ice Trigger is probably the best, right? Port down the maze, equip sword, attack them for like 6. I don't think this is a winning line, but. Need to find a lethal somewhere. It's a Tabernacle. Tabernacle doesn't really do a lot here. More P-Fires. Yeah, just staring down the Natural Vortex always sucks. It's probably the hardest card to beat, because you know, like that's one of the best things to stop the Prelate plan. Oh man, they can take my Monarchy with zombies. How rude. She's failed a miracle and uncounterable lethal entry in game 1. Jeez. Card's perfectly reasonable, right? Yeah, I think we're just super dead. Got like reasonably close. They have 1 card in their hand. Do we know what it is? Ghost Quarter, Tabernacle, Dark Depth. So it's a Tabernacle. So they have 1 Molten Vortex activation, but they can also just Grove back P-Fires. And we're getting Merit Laged that we can't realistically stop, and then we die, yeah. That did not work out super well. Rips, Relic Order, Judgments, Second Prelate, Cataclysms. Wow, we got a lot of stuff for the lands matchup, huh? We got a decent chunk of stuff to cut at least. Cut that. Can we cut these Revokers? It's only good against like exactly Molten Vortex. Well, I guess we could cut Moms instead. Yeah, I was talking about that earlier. The nice part about playing a bunch of mono white decks in Legacy is that when this this horrible blue arms race is going on in this Hands Bananas, we get to sit back and watch it all go down. Watch people main decking Veil of Summers and splashing red in sideboards specifically for like more Power Blasts and stuff. Loam. Cast a Loam. Coward. Don't really want to cast the Rest in Peace with no value, especially in the face of these decks play Force of Vigor now, so giving them 2 Force of Vigor targets seems not great. I think I'd rather wait until there's at least something I can exile with the trigger and get value out of. Not that we can play Rest in Peace that turn anyway, but It's an incentive to cast the Rest in Peace sooner rather than later. We can't cast the Cataclysm as long as they keep porting me, though. And we're going to want to put the Prelude on 2 next turn, and potentially try to cast a Sword of Fire and Ice. Maybe this turn's the turn to cast this Rest in Peace. Sucks if they just have, like, the K-Grip, or the... Especially sucks if they have the Force of Vigor. That you could, like, nuke both my things. Oh, we could Plow Reclaimer. That's whatever. If they have Reclaimers, I might actually want to go up to more removal again. Why do we need Rip with Prelude on 2? Oh, just, like, we don't need Rip in play if we have the Prelude on 2 already. Not unreasonable, but sometimes they have other graveyard things. This Elvish Reclaimer. Take this up. Also just want to get this Rip in play, set it up for our Cataclysm, but we're just going to plow this Reclaimer and probably just put Prelude on 2 anyway. We don't need to do it immediately, though. I don't think there's a 2 that we get punished by letting them cast. I guess Sylvan Library. Definitely killing this. Yeah, there's no real reason not to do it, I guess. Besides, like, I guess drop a funny, but it's, like, not really a reason. Yeah, I guess we were just supposed to do it. Blast Zone, that's a rude thing. At least we have multiple CMCs. It's still porting instead of like trying to take this Blast Zone up to 3. Maybe they're just gonna take it up to 2 and then kill my Rest in Peace. Yeah, Blast Zone is always annoying because it means that I don't just get to cast my Sword of Fire and Ice and just wail on them here, because then they can just take their Blast Zone up to 3 and blow my Prelate and my sword. I think the plan is just try to like cast this Cataclysm. If we just rip a land off the top, we just get to Cataclysm them, which is pretty nice. Port me. No port. So they're planning on cracking the Blast Zone then. Oh, they're just pointing after the trigger, sure. Land. 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 Dang. Never lucky. Blast Zone's 3 to crack. Yeah. But, like, if they weren't porting me, that means they want to crack the Blast Zone on 2, right? Because they only have 4 mana. They can't port and crack Blast Zone. Was what I was saying. But then they just ported me after the trigger. Am I casting the Stoneforge? Yeah, if they really want to eat my Stoneforge and my Rest in Peace, sure. I get to keep the Prelate, which seems probably better. Yep, take it up to 3. Unfortunately, we couldn't get the Cataclysm online in time, but at least we still get to like Cataclysm them with Rest in Peace in play, which seems like pretty devastating. So if they don't find a mana here, so they can't port me, they just have to leave up the 3 to Blast Zone me. What is in their hand? They just haven't been playing lands. Are they playing around the Cataclysm? They've been, like, very religiously shot importing me. Gross and grip, sure. Playground Flicker Wisp. Pour me again. God, do we? No, we don't. We don't put in the we could put in. No, putting in Sword just crunches them, but then eats both my things. We could put in Battle Skull here, but we can always just put in Battle Skull anyway. We'll have enough mana. So if we rip the land, we definitely would just want to cast Cataclysm. So we just let this happen and rip this land off the top. And then attack them for 3. And then cast this Cataclysm, keeping Prelate, rip, Snook over Plains. Keep the last zone, I imagine. They find some more lands. Yep. Clear. We even have the vial to play as a follow-up. Biggest issue with Veil is how hard it is to counter Veil. Yeah, you're not wrong. The fact that the Veil counter is red is like so fucking egregious. The fact that the play pattern is like sometimes you need to let the Oko resolve and then rev it when it's in play is just so funny. They're not playing lands with 6 cards in hand. Lands does not have that many spells in it. What on earth is their hand? It's just like loam, loam, loam. P-fire, P-fire. It's more egregious than it counters Nautilus World. I don't know about more egregious. That is also really funny, though. If we get one more turn before they find another mana source, we just get to Flicker Wisp, save our Prelate. Ooh, deal. This also saves our Prelate. They found the mana source too. Now we get to Flicker Wisp. I guess we could just Flicker Wisp the Blast Zone, right? That's probably a better play. Just instead Flicker Wisp their Blast Zone. You can just cast the Sword of Fire and Ice too. Yeah, this play seems fine. Hello, opponent. This opponent wondering why I cast Sword of Fire and Ice into their Blast Zone on 3. They're about to find out. I could have got punished by like K-Grip on the file there or something. They just K-Grip the vial in my main phase. They'd untap and blast on my Sanctum Prelate and my sword. Maybe I wasn't supposed to do that. is definitely a crop rotation, sure. For what? A Mazavith to not die? No. They could like wasteland my Schadenport and have a Mazavith to survive for like an extra turn. I guess they try to make a 20/20. That might be able to do something. They just like play Dark Depths here. Then we can't attack. Field, sure. Do you have to be wary of another crop rotation, right? Do they have enough mana? Crop rotate this into depths. They do have enough mana. I guess we could just proactively use this for Schadenport, right? Oh no, then we can't equip. We can't surgical to check either. This is awkward. Let's just draw another Flicker Wisp or something. Make my life easy. Doesn't do it. It almost does it. Could definitely just play it and pass though. Is that being too safe? They have 5 cards in hand. They just like haven't played lands though. Like a second crop rotation isn't that out of the question, right? Wait, hang on. We can just attack for 5, right? If they cast crop rotation, we just port down the stage in response. Because they have exactly enough mana. So they can't like wasteland my port and then crop rotate for a Dark Depths and then activate it. So we can just attack for 5, and if they cast crop rotation, we can just hit them down to 1. Which is probably my best bet here. They'll port your port most likely. I mean, that's fine. Yeah, this is me just like playing it safe, because I think we could easily die to crop rotation. I think there's a lot of reason to play around it, yeah. Nice. Yeah, they can't port or waste and also make a 20/20 in that same turn cycle, which is why that play was, I think, our best line there, because it puts them to 1 and also prevents, like, the Merit Lage. How far back are you, Luno? Don't play an attack. Yeah, I feel like you're a little bit. I guess I can't really talk to you because if you're just seeing me draw the Relic Order, then you're a little far away. But you might want to refresh once you get to this part of the stream. Sideboard's probably whatever. All these cards, medium. We saw, what did we see that made us want more removal? Oh, it was the Elvish thing, Elvish Reclaimer. Yeah, maybe I'm okay bringing in the 5th removal spell here. Do we want another Plow instead of like a Revoker or something? Maybe not. Series of every time I queue in with Death of Taxes, I almost just like kept without looking at my opening hand. This hand's it's actually like a little bit close. Might want to keep 7. They did. It seems really greedy, but it's got 2 Resident Pieces. Could be powerful, but we need to hit like one of like 15, 16 white sources in the deck or something. I think 15. 15 out of 53, 2 draw steps. We have a vial, so we're not like dead in the water, right? We could probably get a better 6. Mulliganing is a privilege. This hand has 2 rested pieces, though. 2 hate cards is so good. I really want to keep this hand, but there's so many like Moles does 6 with this deck where you just get like a fair hand of magic cards. It's like never gonna actually be lands. This hand definitely has potential to be lands. I'm keeping. Oh wow, this is gonna be a real rude pivoting goal on Aether Vial, huh? Seems like. Come on, all right. Never been punished in my whole life by keeping a 7-card hand. But like, I feel like unless they're like really choked for mana, there's no reason to like play out this needle proactively on Vial. Unless they're like, I'm definitely tapping out next turn, which seems unlikely in your exploration 35 land deck. Because like if I don't play a Vial on turn 1, Needle can go on a lot of other things. Come on, cast a Loam. Oh dang. What's this even? Wasteland my wasteland? Oh baby. This is a plan. Land. Never didn't have it. Let's just draw the second one. Gambled for Loam, discarded Loam. Come on! Dealer, 1 time. Fuck. Oh shit, Field of the Dead. Yeah, this is bad. Bad news bears. Come on, dealer, 1 time again. Oh, fuck. Are we moving to discard? We might be. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, we got 8. Yeah, we're pretty dead now. Get buried in zombies. Alright, yeah, we did. I think that hand is pretty defensible. Opponent just had Pithing Needle and Wasteland. Specifically, that managed to punish that hand. Losing non-games to risky keeps always feels shitty, but I don't know. I think that hand was still fine to keep. I think the hand loses to Wasteland most of the time. Yeah, maybe. No guarantee that they just have a Wasteland or fire it off aggressively. The fact that they also we had things to do in the meantime. Like we could slowly. The Vial puts the Jailer into play, and the Jailer hits our land drops. Lands is a slow matchup. The Jailer hits our land drops eventually. I think that hand's defensible. Realistically, we need to hit 1 land drop off the top in the top 2 cards. Am I keeping this hand? We're on the play, but we have turn 2 Revoker. In the blind, we have decent turn 3 options, so I think this hand curves out. I don't know if they I guess like once they like if you go Wasteland Aether Vial, I don't think they necessarily just Wasteland you every time unless they also have Pith and Needle on your Aether Vial. Tezzeret, thanks for the follow, appreciate it. What are we playing against? I suppose just Revoker this Astrolabe if it happens. Probably. Could Revoker Oko. Could just cast this Aether Vial. Yeah, let's go with door number 2. The old turn 2 Aether Vial. Ooh, Factory. I think we just jam Crusader. It's like the highest value if they don't have removal. If it does eat removal, it's fine. We could jam Recruiter, get like a Mom, but I don't really care that much about that. Kind of want to recruit Wisps because this is going to be a grindy matchup. We already have Jailer too. Revoker's off curve and coming down with Vial. Yeah, we're just going to fire away with this Crusader. If it were against just Miracles, Crusader isn't very useful anyway. It seems like we're just getting source supply shares. Lemon of Pink, thanks for the follow as well. Crusader dead. Did ski. What's this? Quaddle, sure. See, this is the probably the Miracles list. What are colors? Yeah. Man, what is the second Icewind Quaddle? This Jailer's so nasty. But if my opponent doesn't have another Icewind Quaddle, this Jailer is a lot better. Yeah, risk reward. I think we just gotta slam it. And yeah, I think we're definitely just jamming the old Jailer. Step 1, punch. Deal. Step 2, put Palace Jailer on the stack. I don't see a reason to. Well, Jailer I don't think is getting better. Feels like kind of a now or never card. Just to proactively hit this Astrolabe with the Revoker. If they fetch, I'm putting in this Revoker. I mean, then they, like, I guess I could force them to fetch a drop, yeah. They had, yeah, it doesn't really work. Yeah, the deck definitely plays drop. Keep taking a foul and porting them. I don't think this Jailer gets better, and I think just getting it down as early as possible grants a lot of potential value. Jailer gets really bad against these decks as we enter the later turns in the game. I think just like jamming Jailer and letting it ride, especially like There's already an Ice Quaddle in play. They're less likely to have more. So I don't think I'm supposed to just blind revoke this Astrolabe, because they can already cast another Coatl anyway, and I think I want to be able to have the ability to revoke her a Oko if they put it on the stack. Yeah, they don't. It's not like they play a playset or anything. Snapcaster Mage, sure. So they're gonna try to steal the Monarchy with the Snapcaster Mage, but at least we have a potential second blocker. So they need 2 removal spells. So if they just like cast an Oko here, we could just get to revoke it. Or like cast a Jace. This is bad if they have a plow, because then they can plow the Revoker, and then make their Astrolabe an Elk, and tag them with both. That play seemed horrendous. I'll take it. No idea why you would ever do that. I guess Thalia, I guess? This play seems so bad. Thalia, you can just Elk your Astrolabe, and then attack me with both, and like I lose both my creatures, and you have an Elk. Like I get to keep the Monarchy for a turn, but yeah, thanks, opponent. I think the possibility for Revoker here is way worse for them than the possibility of Thalia. We still lose Monarch? No, we don't. Oko, Thief of Crowns. Because they have to attack first, and then we block, and then their Oko's online in their main 2. Losing Monarch per turn might be worthwhile. Not when they're getting back a Coatl. What? We're never getting Monarchy back after that. I think I'd rather try to handle an Oko than try to handle like them having the Monarchy. We have a Recruiter and a Factory. We can reset up. I think cast Recruiter, get Flicker Wisp, say go is fine. I think I want to leave up Factory more than I want to leave up Port here. Ugh. They have like a Force of Will. Force the Recruiter. We have Factory plus Prelate to like potentially try to double block the Astrolabe with. To buy more time. So yeah, this seems fine. There's the potential of me top decking a Plow off the Monarchy trigger. You can Factory pump itself straight. Oh yeah, that's true. I always forget it can pump itself. I think it's better to leave up the possibility of like end step port. So let's tap like this. Get a Wisp. Wisps, cool. Creating a food, sure. They attack, we just block with Recruiter and Wisp it. Do we? Or do we actually just trade with the Factory to get it off the board? We do have to attack down this Oko eventually. We could just attempt to trade factory with it. Get it off the board. Whisper Recruiter anyway. Get another... They already activated the Oko, so we could actually prel it on one. Block and Wisp, but yeah, it's between, do I actually want to trade my factory for the Astrolabe, or do I want to just fog it for a turn and then keep having to like be semi-concerned about? Because we could potentially just trade the factory for it, Flicker Wisp our Recruiter, go get whatever, and then like our end step Flicker Wisp this Oko again, so they like don't have any creatures to do anything with. Although that's a little dangerous as like a second Oko. Maybe we just want to keep factory as an insurance policy. I mean, that can't attack ever. Ugh. Trade and let Oko live longer. Yeah, it's certainly an issue either way. Kill Oko next turn. Because like we'd flicker the food token if they make an elk. I think I want to trade. I think our plan here is to just protect the monarchy and grind them to death. Which means I think we just want to aggressively kill off their creatures. Learn to Love 6, thanks for the follow, I appreciate it. Flicker the Oko down to 4 right now and clear it. Oh, that's tempting. Dude, it'd be pretty, because we have the second Flicker Wisp too. It's a little bit of a danger into, like, Snapcaster Mage, potentially. But it's worth it. They have 3 cards in hand. Snap Plow is a disaster, but we'll have the Violent tap for, like, Wisp. We get to actually cast a Prelate, too. Yeah, we don't have to get value off the Wisps. We have them. I'm in for this plan. We just need to aggressively defend the Monarchy, and that means kill the thing that makes creatures. It's perfect. Yeah, it's perfectly rational to get mad every time we see an Oko. That seems like a pretty reasonable impulse. Sure. So they're digging for something to kill my stuff. They didn't shuffle on that Ponder. So Snapcaster Mage is the worst thing for me. Hey, we actually got it off the board. Look at that. Kind of didn't expect that to happen, in all honesty. I think we might just play Mother of Rune's double port. They're actually, like, kind of mana screwed. Because we killed we killed their Astrolabe. First time in history an Oko was attacked to death. Yeah, sure. I'm not going to Flicker Wisp to save that. Yeah, now we're just going to port the shit out of them. I'm tempted to maybe Prelate them. Prelate for 1 them. But, like, I want to do that like on their upkeep or something when we're less in danger. When they save the Oko there. I don't know. Playing around second Flicker Wisp, but like they get to keep the Oko. I don't know. Sure. Brainstorm resolves. Do we just Prelate now that they can't flash something? Well, now that they've tapped low enough that they can't Icefang Quaddle me, I think we might just want to Prelate and then port like their Snook River Plains and stuff. Prelate on 1. If they have an... It's kind of a punish if they have a green source Oko, but they only have 2 cards in hand. Seems odd they would not try to save Oko. Yeah, maybe that signal that they have second Oko. Should I be worried about that? I only get 2 ports here, so if they need to land Oko, but then we just block the food token, and then like okay, problem on 1, yeah. Problem on 1's the temptation here. Port first. Porting first doesn't do anything. It just lets them like cast more instants in their upkeep if they found like plows and stuff. Let's see if they brainstorm into the Terminus. We can just stop the Terminus by putting the problem on 1 now and then porting the snow-covered plains. We just don't get Terminus. Terminus is definitely a card I'm concerned about. More than Oko, probably, here. Yeah, I'm doing it. Protoss Paul, thanks for the follow. Sanctum Prelate on 1. So worst case is that they have land Oko. Yeah, alright, we did it. If they had land Oko there, then they could animate their food and we would have to chump block with our Sanctum Prelate to keep Monarchy. Then we could, like, Flicker Wisp their food token, attack the Oko down to 1 because it has 9,000 loyalty for some ungodly reason. Yeah, I don't know what they were doing that last turn where they, like, plowed the Mother of Runes and didn't save their Oko. Like, they didn't... I don't even think they knew about the second Flicker Wisp. As far as they knew, I'm pretty sure I recruited a Wisp. Yeah, I drew the other one just blindly, so... Still support Surgical. Yeah, I think Surgical's probably worth it. Especially just because Mother of Runes is so shitty. Like, we have 8 cards to bring out. So I don't care about possibly boarding in, like, 2 medium cards. I think there's a distinct possibility that Surgical's still good. Sand has a Cataclysm. It's not good at casting this Cataclysm, though. On the draw, we have 24 lands in our deck. We have a Thalia. We have, like, other reasonable spells to cast. I'm keeping this hand. These are the hands that you, like, never hit your 3rd land drop and you die, but... Done to the breaks, I guess. Put them all to 6. Yeah, I definitely keep this, especially on the draw. You're just, like, way more likely to hit a bunch of land drops. But sometimes you just don't and you die, and that's... what you sign up for. Sometimes they just like Swords of Plowshares or Thalia, untap, cast Oko, and then we'll either draw White Source and Council Judgment it, or concede and move on to the next game. Well, they didn't plow it. It means they can't Oko me. This is technically a 3rd land. Only technically stares at my hand of double white spells. I mean, I'm going to cast this Recruiter for something. Can't do anything else this turn. Can I Recruiter for basic planes? Do I Recruiter for a castable spell? Or like a Sanctum Prelate? Like... Do I want a Revoker or a Stoneforge Mystic? I think Stoneforge is probably my best bet. Recruiter for a Soldier Spirit Guide. If only. Yeah, Stoneforge Mystic seems decent. One of those cards that like adds to the board state without overcommitting horribly. Sure. Yeah, we don't. Yeah, that's a good assessment of things. We have a plethora of things we're very happy to cast if we hit another white source. So there's no point in like grabbing a Prelate. Terminus, yeah, sure. I'm fine with a 2-for-1 Terminus, especially because the Recruiter like got another creature. Like, it's definitely not. It's definitely one of the better like like better for me terminuses that I've seen. Nice. Every time your opponent plays a Mystic Sanctuary as a tapped island is just the best feeling. Am I supposed to get Batter Skull? Probably not. They only have 4 cards in hand. Wonder if we waste that. Maybe. Keeps me off of like Jace or something. Doesn't really keep me off of anything but this Cataclysm, and I don't think this Cataclysm's gonna get cast the next couple of turns. Yeah, I'm kind of happy with getting Skull and wastelanding this Sanctuary. It also turns off more Sanctuaries. Every time they play it as a tapped island, Angel gets this wings. Yeah, exactly. Well, I'll pass the turn, I guess. My perfect 1-color mana base. Someone screenshot this and send it to Rachel. I know how much she loves D&T's mana base. Alright. Guess this Stoneforge, or this Batterskull is going to get, like, returned to natured or whatever, but I'm going to take the bait. I gotta do something. Yeah, we need to play Astrolabe. What the fuck are we doing? I should make Astrolabe D&T for memes. Or they Terminus it. Oh yeah, I guess they have the ability to Terminus. This card to the left of the Batterskull, I can't read it. The Stoneforge Mystic? Or in my hand, when it was in my hand. The Sanctum Prelate, I think, was the card to the left. I forget. Sanctum Prelate or Council's Judgment. Either way, I mean, I'm going to attack for 5 and pass the turn. I can't do other things. I literally can't do other things. I had Astrolabe and some Veils. Yeah, I should really make, like, meme Death and Taxes that just plays Veil of Summer and Arkham's Astrolabe. We have 3 lands in play and 7 cards in hand, and none of them are castable. Veil would shore up some of D&T's bad matchups. True. I wonder when we port fetch. Probably not anytime soon. For Once Upon a Time main deck Veil Maverick. Yeah, casting spells is for suckers. What on earth? Oh, this is the Return to Nature, right? Yeah. Our opponent didn't have the fake draw step stop, right? Did they just draw an actual Terminus? I haven't been paying attention to whether or not our opponent had the vial, or not the vial, the fake miracle stop. I'm just gonna cast this Recruit of the Guard. Don't mind me, opponent. Oh, we have to move to discard. Second Stoneforge Mystic? Follow seems like pretty weak here. I might discarding one of these 900 Mirror Crusaders, probably. That seems so good. Deck failed the Basking Root Wallet test. Lily, instead of being passed out on her pillow, which is right there, she's instead, I don't know if you guys can actually see her. See her head poking out, I think. Oh god. Is asleep on the hardwood floor by the door. For some reason. What am I doing? We're in end step. They cast a brainstorm. Yeah, whatever. I'm F6ing. Oh, right. We gotta move this card. Go back Crusader. Man, this Cataclysm is gonna be really good when I cast it. Come on, basic planes. Ah, that works. Yeah, no time like the president, right? There's an Oko in play. My opponent has 900 lands. Suppose we could have Council's Judgment at the Oko. To like check for Force Blue card as the last two cards. This Cataclysm's real good. Assuming it resolves. Nice. Wait, why would you fetch? And then what the cat this excuse me. Opponent, that's not how that... I don't know if you read the card. Interesting play. Yeah, maybe they thought they wanted a Sanctuary for a cantrip? But they only have one? Dang, unlucky. Opponent hitting land drops. What a jerk. Time to never draw another land and die. They keep on that ponder. They did not shuffle on it. They just had like second Oko here. Oh, nice. Sorry, not second Oko. We're alive. Why would you only put one planes in your deck? That's a good question. I should play more if I want to cast my spells. Didn't really think about that. Oh, nice. So what would be better as a Thalia, that's for sure. 3 more mana. Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna be a jerk. Playing their land drops. Do they even have more lands that produce mana? They gotta be running out, right? They out of basic planes. If they're on like the stock list, they only have 1. They should have a Tundra though. I guess we pass here. Stock has 2 planes. I thought Stock had 1. That's what Min said earlier. Then Patrick said he was on 2. So I guess we just pass. We can't cast any of these spells. How many Tundra? Yeah, I assume they played like the 1 Tundra. GP list cut Council's Judgment and played 1 Tundra, 1 Plains. Okay. I don't know if that's stock, but that's what like the most recent deck list is. Sure. It's not that threatening, I don't think. Oh, I hope we draw a land. If we draw a land, we can animate the factory and put sword on it. Hit them. If they don't have a plow. Which they have cast 0, so they might. Oh, baby, time for the second Cataclysm. They never see it coming. I guess we could just attack the Teferi down. How much do I care about it being in play? Would I rather play Stoneforge Mystic? We'd have to move to discard either way, because we'd go get the GT. Yeah, I think if we resolve the second Cataclysm, they literally can't win. Yeah, I think we just try to develop. I think we draw this GT and we might discard it. I guess it's castable, so maybe we discard, like, a Crusader. Like, this Crusader's not going to be relevant ever. We don't want to fail Defying, because we want to thin our deck to draw our lands. We, like, actively want to take the bad cards out of our deck to draw our basic planes. It's probably discarding this Crusader. Although, like, what if we get Oko'd? Nah, we have, like, Council Judgment and shit. And this Cataclysm. We're fine. Don't worry. Don't worry, chat. There's a chance that pitching GT is the correct play. Sure. Come on! White Source. And this White Source off the top gonna be so juicy. Yeah, opponent's like firing on most of their cylinders. Yeah, the good thing about our next Cataclysm is that we have no cards in our deck besides lands at this point. Because we keep drawing spells. Come on, give me that good White Source deck. This White Source is about to be so good. Opponent's never going to see it coming. Yeah, I don't know if it's statistically possible to die to this Coatl before we drew enough lands to kill the Coatl. Assuming we get to cast this Cataclysm next turn. We're at 23. We have 40 cards in the deck. Yeah, I don't think it's literally possible if my opponent stacked my deck. I just really want to put my Miracles opponent out of, like, mana sources. Is that such a wrong request? I don't know what we're waiting for here. Ah, shit. Man, this mana base is so good. We get our GT online. Could fire up the factory, attack the Oko down. Man, these plays don't seem very good. Might just be play equip GT to Stoneforge, attack both, send both at Oko might be the play. Maybe it's only send Stoneforge at Oko. We get to keep our Elk, and then we get GT counters. They're kind of forced to trade the Coatl. Don't give them credit, they probably would have got this was a card 5 minutes ago. Attacking Oko. They are at 7. GT passport them. I don't want to get GT counters. They're at 7. It might just be more realistic to attack. Oh, why would you force of will this? Alright, baited the Cataclysm. Easy. Easy mode. All according to plan. Now we just need to draw the White Source. Should have tapped differently, just in case my opponent... I did not predict Force of Will my GTA, to be fair. But I should have tapped slightly differently. Should have fired up factory and squatted Oko? I don't think so. Only hits it for 3. Factory trading with an elk might be better as well. I will admit, this Miracles player is giving me like every chance to win this game. Fetching out their mana, and then letting the Cataclysm resolve. If they just like drew another Force of Will and they're gonna hardcast it on me. I'm trying to offset my poor draws. White Source. Nice. Alright, let's hope they didn't top deck. We're probably supposed to play around Force of Will, right? Rather than save our factory, we could Wasteland the Mystic Sanctuary and then play Caracas and Cataclysm them to play around Hardcast Force of Will. Is Elk a Fire and Ice an artifact? It's not. It's just a creature. Rather than keep our factory alive, we should just play around Hardcast Force of Will as a possibility, because that actually could potentially lose us the game. Judgment first. Why would you Judgment this board? We get Cataclysm them. They're never winning. They never ever beat this Cataclysm. That's not true. They could like plow my elk and attack me 17 times. But a Wasteland for yeah, I'm gonna Wasteland and Cataclysm. I think we would rather play around Hardcast Force of Will than save our factory. I think we will lose a lot more games to one of their Force of Wills being in their 1-card hand than by, like, never drawing another land and, like, having this factory that could have been. Could have to. I specifically said why I didn't do it. Because I would rather play around Force of Will. If you want to try to beat Force of Will, it's just me Oko. But we can beat Force of Will like this. Why does my opponent keep fetching any of these Cataclysms? Nice. See? Why cast Cataclysm? Or why cast Council Judgment when my opponent's just conceded the Cataclysm? If they had a blue card, we still lose. They had 1 card in hand. They had exactly 1. It was Hardcast Force of Will. Like, we still lose to, like, Force of Negation, I guess. Yeah, if they had multiple cards in hand, then, like, Wastelanding is useless because it doesn't actually play around Force of Will. Yozo. Doesn't this guy play, like, Grixis ninjas all the time? This hand sucks. It doesn't suck, but it's just very slow. This hand is much better. We'll put back the GT. Mom to Stoneforge seems pretty powerful. Ooh, and Crusader. Alright. Yeah, I was talking about it during our match, Patrick, that at least they printed Force of Negation so I can stop arguing with Patrick about Spell Pierce versus Death and Taxes. Because, like, I can honestly, like, respect Force of Negation a little bit at least, because it hits, like, a turn 1 Vial on the draw and stuff. think we're just getting Batter Skull. Batter Skull's really bad against Strix. This and they're probably a Strix deck. I like Sword of Fire and Ice, especially this Crusader. Let's just get Sword. Let's just like crunch our opponent. Better or worse than Spell? Way better, yeah. Way better than Spell Pierce. It's never like dead, because it can at least like always counter it, even if they're like floating or something. And it's free. Which is pretty important against turn 1 Vial. Or like trying to tap low, but like still being able to dodge Cataclysm. I think we want Sword of Fire and Ice more than we want Thalia here. Maybe not. Thalia and Revoker this Astral Ape seems pretty hot, but getting Sword of Fire and Ice on it also seems pretty hot. Let's go pass. Not sure if it's correct. Plow. Not playing Grixis, whatever. Actually playing just like Miracles. So Refinery seems pretty good here still, because they can't stop it. I don't think. I guess they could have like 3 plows. This is a list. Snap Plow, we might be in a spot of trouble, but we also have the ability to resolve things through a counterbalance relatively well. That was Council's Judgment. It's gonna be bad news in a little bit. They couldn't have waited for the equip, right? Because they had to, like, make sure... I guess they could have cast neither Plow. Like, cast them both on that one turn. So we can just hit him for 5, or we can clear this Narset. We also hit him for 3 and put the Narset to 1, because they're probably just going to Council's Judgment and my Sword of Fire and Ice anyway. Why am I getting all those slow matchups today? Jeez, it's already 11. See if Thalia resolves. Like, does that change the math on it? I guess it might. Blinds 2. Nice, it's a 1. Does use my clock better. Ooh, and Plow the Mystic, that's pretty rough. I guess we just revoke with the Narset now so they can't activate it without like casting this Council's Judgment and exiling the Revoker. Yeah, opponent probably going to sequence the double Plow play better, but I guess they wanted to their plan was Plow, untap, Plow, counterbalance. But I don't know about how aggressively I'd want to get My counterbalance is in play for Southern Texas. Yeah, they would also have to have left a mom in play. Then their third plow there would have been a lot worse. A lot of good Council's Judgment targets on this board. They vote for the sword? Alright. We only have one card left that draws cards, so I think I'm just gonna hit the Narset for 2 and hit them. Play the Karagas, play the Crusader. Not casting the Astrolabe. Do they have, like, Snap Plow here? Hey, Fluffy Wolf, thanks for the raid. Appreciate it. Hope your stream went well. I'm just gonna hit him in the face. Snapcaster. So we can plow the Snapcaster. They get to plow my Crusader too, but it's whatever. I think I just would rather cash in this plow while I have a chance and keep my Revoker around. It's the same amount of damage anyway. Oh, there's a counterbalance to play though, so it might get countered. Never mind. Yep. Your hand is Force of Will, Astrolabe, question mark, which is not a super strong hand. Here's the Astrolabe. Your hand is Force of Will, something. Not a good draw. Let's hope this Thalia plus Revoker can limp across the finish line here. So is he just like playing Astrolabe in a 2-color deck? That's a bummer. When am I done? Probably in like half an hour-ish. Do I just let this resolve? They're at 5. So if I let this resolve, they kill the Thalia. If I pick it up, they kill the Revoker and I get less damage in. They have Force of Will Unknown. I think I just want to try to limp across this finish line here and just let this resolve on my Thalia. Especially considering this counterbalance and the Force of Will in hand are both there. So picking up the Thalia and putting it back into play might not be a plan that I can actually work with. Well, alright. This is looking good. They are drawing a Ponder, which is scary, but... this Germ token looks pretty good here. Their end is Force of Will Unknown and whatever they find off this Ponder. They snap shuffled. Yes, got there. Whew. This is a close one for sure. So, appearances seemed to be just straight blue-white with Astrolabes, which seems kind of weird. Is Astrolabe correct in a two-color deck? Like, they might have been, like, Bant Miracle still and just, like, never fetched out the green mana. Because they had, like, Astrolabes in play and there's no need to, but I don't know. Stuff like Counterbalance kind of makes me think that they were more focused on, like, real, just normal miracles. Aggressive Assumption. Yeah, they could just have, like, Counterbalance and Bant. I don't think it's going to change my sideboarding very much unless we see something substantial in Game 2 here. Blue Eyes so bad. My opponent is known for playing Grixis Ninjas, so I don't think X deck is bad as a good way to figure out if my opponent's playing it or not. All the days where I actually have something to do after the stream are the days that I just queue into a bunch of extremely slow matchups. Today has been Bant Miracles, lands, Bant Miracles, some Miracles-y deck. And by bad, I mean strictly worse than another deck by a lot. I mean, my point stands. Grixis Ninjas versus, like, other Grixis decks that existed in the same format. Oh, I missed Godslayer 6969. Missed that follow, sorry. My notifications aren't making noises for some reason. Ninjas are sweet. You got me there. Can't argue with that. Ninjas are super sweet. I want to come back. Where'd you go? I have places to be. Like, actually. Did I hear ninjas? Yes. We're not playing against ninjas. Our opponent is known in the past for playing a ninjas deck. If they ever come back here, maybe. There we go. This hand sucks. This hand's much better. I think we're going to just ship this Sword of Fire and Ice. We might just go get it again with the Stoneforge Mystic, but I think, especially early Surgical, might be able to, like, tag Source of Plowshares and stuff. The rest of this hand's fine. I'm not super into casting my Stoneforge Mystic here. We also can't really port these, though. I'm going to just, like, cast an Oko here. Elks my Vial. We're in kind of a bad spot. Guess like a Teferi and bounce my Vial. It's also kind of obnoxious. Narset, alright, that's the least obnoxious by far. Oh, there's a Teferi. Alright, never mind. Back to being obnoxious. Tick up. Ooh, Athalia. So we could Violent Thalia, just cast Stoneforge. We could also try to port, but let's see. I think I wanted to play 2 threats in the face of this Teferi. make it harder for the Teferi to do things. So Violent Thalia, so we can cast the Stoneforge and not get it countered, even though don't know how much we care about that. Could play around like Blind Terminus. I want Batterskull. There's a Narset in play that I don't really want to tag. And we're like pretty mana tight, especially with the port and 2 lands. Grab Batterskull. I guess it's worse if they kill my Stoneforge, though. Iron's pretty stacked if we can keep the Save Their Vow in play. There's a Jace. It's a land for the Teferi. What do they bounce, though? I think the Vial is probably the most tempting bounce, but then we get to like clear bolt their walkers at least. Oh, they do just play the Stoneforge. They have a second play for the Thalia. I feel like they did that in backwards order, because they didn't really need the 1 mana up. Take up this Vial. This Cataclysm is very far away from being relevant. I'm just going to port them and put in a 3-drop. I guess we could put in a Recruiter and cast a 2 instead, like cast another Thalia. Might actually be better since we just need to like kind of play to the board against this Teferi plus Jace. Like if they just Teferi bounce my Vial and all we have is like a 1 creature in play, it kind of sucks. Cast Thalia just seems, yeah, kind of my thought. Gets more pressure on the board. If possible, I think we just want to stop them from being able to profitably Teferi bounce my Vial. If they Teferi bounce the Vial here, at least we can just like kill both the Planeswalkers. Dang. And probably just like recast our Vial. Then we have to deal with this Jace, which is problematic, but do we even clear the Narset? We might want to clear the Narset. Maybe not. Maybe we don't clear this Narset because we have this Cataclysm, which is probably relevant before drawing cards is. So we could just clear the Teferi, hit them for 2. Surgical the Plows at some point, but don't really think that's on my agenda. Wow. Force the Vial on the way back. So they're planning on just taking over this game with the Jace. We just need to hit lands and Cataclysm them then. Seems like a pretty reasonable plan. Considering they need to like minus the Jace to keep it in play, or minus or plus it. Lands are good. Could just flicker us for a Recruiter for more value. Playing with Thalia is mana inefficient here now. And we can even like Surgical the Force Souls before we cast Cataclysm at some point, just to make sure. Kind of like just Wisping for more value. And is it already followed on value? I mean, we got 6 cards. We can always have 7th. We're casting spells every turn. It's not like we're unable to do that. And like casting the Thalia, it doesn't seem very good here anyway. Casting the Crusader is maybe the only other argument to be made. Could grab Prelate, Crusader, or another Wisp. Not Crusader. I guess Revoker. Revoker Jace might be something. That's a rough terminus. No terminus in the yard, we can't surgical it. We can just rip a land. Am I actually supposed to surgical the force a well if we rip a land? Maybe. Oh, they're fate sealing me. Are they trying to prevent me from hitting a land drop? They force of negation. Oh, that's a backbreaker. We can't surgical that force out of the way too. Woof. That one sucks. We need to somehow get the force stop the force of negation. But that seems like pretty impossible to do. 8 cards in hand, we can't wisp anything. I think we want to play a wisp anyway though to pressure these planeswalkers. I guess Crusader pressures them more. It's Crusader to try to hit the Jace. Maybe waste it on Surgical Terminus. I mean, we don't need a Surgical Terminus until we see, like, a... I guess we could, like, potentially get blown out by, like, more fetches. Depending on how long we sit on it. Oh, bait the force of negation on the terminus. Okay, yeah, I got you. Alright, bait the force of negation on the surgical on terminus. Potentially plow or something. Yeah, that tracks. Grab a brainstorm. Jace brainstorm. Can't surgical because it's a Scalding Tarn in play. Sure, counts just resolves. Can't cast Cataclysm, so I'll have to do something else. No, we're not casting the Cataclysm. We can't surgical because they can just Scalding Tarn to counter the surgical. They can just fetch Mystic Sanctuary. They did not have the turn before. You're not wrong. Probably not supposed to pour. They have so much mana. They just like draw a second fetch they can play around the surgical though. Entreat. We can't port the Vengefire of the Surgicals if we cast the Thalia. Entreat's a magic card. We could have ported the Tarn and Surgical on the following turn, but we have the Thalia in play. This resolves. Port before this resolves. Is there a reason to? So they can't put the entry back on top. We can't Cataclysm because they have the Force of Negation in hand. Like, that plan does not work. They're not casting this Brainstorm with, like, a very specific intent. Unfortunately, Cataclysm, not an instant. Cannot fire it off, like Wasteland and fire it off, but I guess we can't do that anyway. Because of the Thalia. Yeah, I believe we're just dead here. Macroys. I don't know how to say your name, but thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. All right, let's surgical this entreat, I imagine. Take a screenshot for posterity here. They are very light red splash for a Ruination that they also brought in versus Death and Taxes, which seems kind of buck wild, but okay. I'll look at their list more. I'm going to go to sideboarding for game 3 here. Have you seen your mana base? I mean, sure, but I don't think that's board Ruination worthy. Board my 4 mana sorcery to get them. Didn't take the bait, yeah. I'm not surprised. Now at least we get to see their deck. From the Ashes exists, yeah. I don't know. I guess From the Ashes is a lot worse against Death and Taxes. I don't really know what our out is. Our out is continuing to play Magic for some reason. We drew the other surgical. How do we lose? Forcible pitching the Brainstorm, sure. They technically might not have this Force Negation in their hand, but I have to assume that they do if they're competent. They know that Cataclysm's the only card they realistically lose to. When did I ever say Force Negation was bad versus Death and Taxes? I explicitly said the opposite. In this matchup, I was like, I'm glad that Force Negation got printed so we could stop arguing about Spell Pierce being good against Death and Taxes. That's a whole different ballgame. Froze on my end. Looks fine to me. I'm gonna try refreshing. Are we protecting Narset over there like she's doing so? I don't know. My opponent is winning at their leisure. We are very dead. That. How are you ever going to beat this one, opponent? Is my opponent not do anything, and then it's a weird priority thing. Wow, rude. Alright, probably time to throw in the old towel here. Considering we're literally dead on board. Alright, let's take a closer look at their deck here. So what? 2 Teferi, 2 Narset, 2 Jace, 2 Council's Judgment, 1 Disenchant, the full 4 forces, 1 Force of Negation, 2 Vendilion Clicks. They pitched one to, I didn't screenshot their Exile Zone, but they pitched a Vendilion Click to Force earlier. Really doesn't make sense to me that they boarded in this Ruination, but that means I'm almost certainly going to lose to it in Game 3. 2 Snapcaster Mages. They do have 2 Mystic Sanctuaries. The Surgicals seem okay. If we can actually just proactively Surgical their Swords of Plowshares, I feel like they're just missing a ton of removal in their deck. It's like, their list is just like old Miracles. To the point where I think that we could actually try to gimp them by just like ripping all the swords out of their deck or something. Our removal sucks. Relic Order sucks. Mother of Ruin sucks. Let's submit. I'd love to play first. I would not love to keep this hand. I would love to keep this hand. This hand's good enough. I'm probably going to put back a Plains and then never draw land for this Cataclysm, but, like, our hand is very action light. I don't think we can afford to snap keep all 4 mana producing lands and put away, like, the Sword of Fire and Ice. I think we definitely put back Snow-Covered Plains here. We're ready for the Force of Will. I mean, I'm gonna go get Batterskull, I guess. It's better than Umasawa's Jita here. Probably not gonna be very castable, because my opponent's probably going to kill my Stoneforge. Brainstorm, Fetch, Plow. We play Port. Cast Sword of Fire and Ice. Probably actually port them over casting Sword. Maybe not. Maybe we want to develop this. So our plan is probably as soon as we hit 4 mana and they have like any number of lands in play, basically, we just start slamming Cataclysms, force them through. Ugh. I said probably 30 minutes. We never even finished this match. Jesus. What do we get? The world's slowest matchups today. Oh, Stoneforge. Yeah. Alright, cool. Draw a cool card. I wouldn't say that's a cool card. It might be better. It's probably better to play than Sword of Fire and Ice, though. Get pressure in play. That's mean. for 1. I think that's fine. Also, not really planning for the blind determinus. They just like play land number 3 here. Do I cast Cataclysm? Probably not. I don't think there's real pressure to, especially because we have 2 Cataclysms, so like even if they find the counterspell for the first one. Opponent about to Ruination me and make me wish I'd cast Cataclysm. No, I'm not supposed to port there, because if they, like, land Jace here, we just cast Kata. So we're not, like, super concerned about that happening. We're concerned about double Force of Will. That's probably not a thing we can realistically deal with. Sorry. I'm very tired. It's been a long stream. It's gonna be like Narset, Teferi, Teferi bound sword, draw card. The Labe, sure. Do we cast this Cataclysm now? We cast Batterskull. Casting Cataclysm seems pretty nice though. They haven't missed a land drop, and I'd rather not play my Batterskull because I want to be able to have land drops to deploy post Cataclysm. But I don't think I want to Cataclysm yet. Maybe we just pass and Rashad and Port cast Cataclysm next turn. Maybe I'm like sandbagging these Cataclysms too long. I have 2 of them, so I should probably be able to just fire it off. No real rhyme or reason to my ports. I guess porting the Plains turns off Council's Judgment, so that's probably the play, since the only red card is Ruination. And they can cast that off the Astrolabe anyway. So I guess porting the Plains is proper there. If they hit another land drop, I'll cast Cataclysm. You gotta see it on the horizon, right? I passed with 4 cards in my hand and didn't cast anything. Yeah, there we go. Whew. Yeah, sure. Don't think I want to wasteland them. But maybe wastelanded a player. It's a 1 of Force of Negation, though. I don't think I'm supposed to respect it, really. Put the Force Negation back on top. Oh no. Oh, they're just getting a Ponder, sure. Snapcaster Force Negation, no! My plans! I guess now we'll wasteland. Next turn we're just casting Batterskull. Well, Miracle's player keeps his Force Negation. Force Negation is actually, like, surprisingly good against Death and Taxes. Like, the reason my opponent is kind of showing. Cataclysm is, like, one of the most impactful cards, as is Aether Vial. I think we're just slamming Batterskull, though. I'm gonna fight Shiva, I gotta fight my chat. I guess that's fair. Hardcast Force of Will. Man, opponent came prepped for my cast nothing but Cataclysms plan by casting nothing but counter spells. Probably supposed to revoke her, like, Jace the Mind Sculptor. How would Spell Pierce have been in this game? A lot worse, because we had a ton of lands in our hand, and we saw our opponent's deck, so if they had Spell Pierce, I probably would have played around it a little bit harder. Porting's not going to do anything. I'm casting this either while. Porting's not going to do dick. My opponent has 9,000 mana. Let's draw our third Cataclysm. Just get him. Like, Terminus me? What's happening? Yeah, I definitely wouldn't expect my opponent to have the third. Gotta find a negation for the hell of it either. Oh, they're just sitting up there in tree to murder me. Dang, didn't name the Astrolabe. This is double weight on the Miracle, right? No, thanks, Moto. It's double weight on the... Yeah, it is double weight on the Miracle. Thought about naming Astrolabe specifically to turn off Council's Judgment. Not thinking about Entreat. Draw the third Cataclysm. One-time dealer. This attack seems... Does this attack like set up for lethal next turn or something? Dang, unlucky. I'm going 2 Entreats in the deck. Maybe I was supposed to put that more on my radar. Fate Seal me, just to make sure. Left it on top, dang. Never lucky. Alright, let's play quickly, please. I want to finish this stream. Yeah, I wonder if I was supposed to respect Entreat more than Jace by name. It definitely was just not on my mind when I played the Revoker. I was thinking that Jace is a really bad top deck for me. I suppose it's like kind of a 50-50 shot, right? Because they had 2 Entreats, 2 Jaces. We have no idea what that's in their hand. And we could... Although I could have ported instead of casting the Vial to play around Entreat as well, right? Jace is also less threatening because I have the Sword of Fire and Ice. Jace is less threatening than Entreat is. I probably could have just respected both by porting that turn. That's probably like the not bad play. Jace isn't guaranteed. Yeah, Jace is just a card that lets them find other things that do things. Aegis. Isn't this a test player? Alright, thank God. We'll die fast at least. Alright, snap keep. Pretty sure Aegis is Aegis? I don't know how to say that, whatever. But pretty sure they're a test player. Thank God. Kill me. End my life. End my life, opponent. Turn 1 me. Let's go. We're just like echoing. Alright. Wheeling and dealing. Hope your hand sucks. Nice. That your hand sucks and I have a Wish Claw Talisman now. It's kind of cool. I'm just gonna cast this Thalia. Set it up so I can like wish for Prelate on 2 and win the game, right? Probably works. Yeah, Talisman is a lot worse when you're just echoing and like trying to kill from 0 mana. Can only activate this with sorcery speed, right? Or only during my turn. So if we draw a 4th land, we can wish for the Prelate. Although I think the decks that I've seen, the test lists with Talisman that I've seen have main deck Chain of Vapor. Land. Nice. So if we wish for Prelate, we'd have to put Prelate on like 1 to be Chain. We could also, I don't know. We could also just like put it Sword of Fire and Ice and hit them for like 6. Just try to kill them. A little scared. They have 6 cards in hand, like a lot of mana. But if we can knock them down enough that like their ad nos is bad, then there's a chance we can win anyway. Chain of Vaporing my Prelate would cost them 3 mana total, right? They would have to Wish Claw and then cast Chain of Vapor for 2 mana. So maybe that's just like not enough to beat the Thalia too, so it's probably still fine to just wish for Prelate on 2. Oh god, I can wish for any card. You also wish and Revoke Talisman. That just seems counterproductive, right? It just gets me a Phyrexian Revoker on Wish Claw Talisman. I feel like I would just put the Sword of Fire and Ice in and crunch them for a bunch of damage in that case. Turns off future Wish Claws, I guess. Yeah. I assume this is for a Chain of Vapor. So maybe I actually want to do this after I like add Sword in place so I can equip it safely. I think they're just going to like pass and channel my end step, right? Let's die to Massacre. We have a Prelate on 2. Just like wish for their main deck Massacre in the Veil of Summer economy. Massacre's 4 CMC, but they don't have one main deck. That would be I would be baffled if they had a main deck. Yeah, they usually Burning Wish for it, exactly. I'm gonna equip the Thalia here. I have to imagine that they did in fact wish for the Chain of Vapor, so if I equip the Prelate, they just bounce the Prelate in response, and I can't recast the Prelate, so equipping to the Thalia just means that we get 8 more damage this turn. Next turn we can try equipping to the Prelate, assuming they like, don't actually have a Chain of Vapor. They might not. They might not be in the same list that I saw earlier. Although I shouldn't have played Melee, because I could have drawn Wasteland. Let's just play into the Massacre. We have like stuff to play with anyway. Also, we'll just recast the Prelate, assuming we get another turn. I wonder if I actually wanted a Jite there. The ability to... I don't know. Sword of Fire Knight just deals them so much more damage for their Adnaz. Jite, like, gains me life to get out of, like, some tendrils ranges, but gives them much better ad nauseum. I've seen several Echo the Aeons cast out of tests, and they just, like, have not looked super impressive. Yeah. Tests usually you want to get down to as low as possible, because like, their average CMC is so low, they can add Nas at a lower life total, too. And still just, like, fucking kill you. So I think just, like, doming them for... Wow, no... What if they do just have the main deck Massacre and they're just gonna like fucking roll me this turn? The pause was them screenshotting and then sending it to all their friends being like, I'm about to end this man's whole career. I guess Massacre wouldn't even do it because the thought it would stay in play because the sword. Opponent says, I'm going to need a moment to think, sorry. No problem, but also, I have other things to do today. And it's almost midnight. I mean, this is certainly a hard board state to work around. Clearly did. I mean, if they have a Chain of Vapor, I feel like they would have cast it last turn, right? It's just more efficient too, in terms of like actually trying to figure out how to win here. But because then they have to like Chain of Vapor the Prelate and then also win through the Thalia at 5 life. And produce 10 Storm, which seems very difficult. Anyway, while we're doing this, Lily finally moved to her little pillow she got over there. She's just sleeping over there now. What a good dog. I'm a D&T player IRL forwards correct thing to name. Stop Tendrils Massacre empty. Does not stop Burning Wish, though. Burning Wish, pretty important one to stop because they don't have main deck Massacre, they don't have main deck Tendrils, and Burning Wish can Wish for Grape Shot and kill you through a Prelude 4. I am also a D&T player IRL. 2 also hits a lot of their rituals, or not a lot of their rituals. They don't play Cabal, right? 2 hits Infernal Tutors, more Wish Claws. Yeah, 4 is the name against Ant. 4 just like Stone Cold locks Ant game 1. Wow. Casting. I guess they can cast the Dark Grave before if they ever to bounce this Prelate. They don't need to until they need to cast a 2. They're going to chain a bunch of their own artifacts here, but they don't produce mana. It would make Storm count. You got 5 mana. I wonder what they Wish Clawed for. Maybe they don't have the main deck chain. I thought I saw a main deck chain out of like a Wishclaw test list earlier, but they might obviously they might not be on the same list. Or maybe I don't know, they do have the chain. That's what I assume they wished for. So there. And the chain of the prelate. I feel like they don't have enough mana. No, I'm good. Yeah, I feel like they're just dead. Alright, cool. They found the line. What's the last cut here? Jailer. We did it. We won game 1. Hand's never winning. Do you have any hands that are winning against us? Hand doesn't have a Stoneforge though to potentially beat Gobos. We can cast a Revoker on 2, Thelian 3, which is probably like not nearly good enough. I think I'm keeping this hand, hoping they have like interaction heavy. I don't think we can beat like the nuts regardless. Like if they just like turn 1 me, it's not gonna matter. And there's a chance that they have like a hand that is leaning on like Thoughtseize my Thalia, play some lands, cast some cantrips. I'm a big fan of this Thalia art, not gonna lie. Steve Argyle, very good artist. Shuffle. I would have thought about wastelanding if they did. Wasteland that hard. It seems ambitious considering they didn't shuffle their ponder. They have 5 cards in hand. Like, we're not winning this game without Thalia. Definitely worth considering. We could potentially get to Thalia in the same turn if we find a white source anyway. Right? If we play the Vial and then draw a white source. I guess if we draw a white source that turn, we can just cast the Thalia. But if we're planning on Vialing in the Thalia on 2, we could find a white source before then. I'm kind of in for wastelanding, honestly. Maybe this is wrong. Ah, nice. Alright. We did it. That is a way to finish that league, I suppose. Kind of surprised they... I guess maybe they kept a kill. But they needed that mana. Seems like the more winning line is to wasteland than to, like, attempt to get a Thalia and play on turn 3 against Tess on the draw. Anyway, I'm gonna wrap things up because I am very late to picking up my girlfriend from school and then also going to bed. So we're going to host someone real quick. Thanks everyone for watching. Hope you had a good time. Hope you enjoyed the stream. I had a lot of fun. Let's host, I don't know. Oh, dang, someone's playing Orb Opposition. Alright, we gotta go host them. That deck looked sweet. Anyway, gonna go host Ramuth / host Ramuth. Anyway, see you guys all on Friday. Have a good rest of your week. Bye-bye.